people, who I have for you today. It's going to be good. All right. So pumped about my friend, Monte Cox. And I could tell you stories, but I'm not going to. I will read you his bio. We are going to have so much fun. This is going to be it's going to be soul, definitely going to be wisdom, but it's going to be so much fucking wit. I can feel it. Monte Cox is a transformational speaker and performance coach, obsessed with helping you get past fear so you can create change and find joy. Monte combines spiritual principles, coaching, accountability, cheerleading, and honesty. I know that much about him. To create the space for transformation through transmutation, he says, I will hold your hand while you walk through the fire. Monte Cox, I'm going to bring you in the stream. Here he comes in 3, 2. Oh my gosh, you are such a bastard.
Wait. We're doing this today.
You son of a. That's Monte Cox. If you know Monte, you know this is how he rolls, right? A lot of sass, a lot of spontaneity, a lot of humor. So I will just say this. So yesterday we were having some technology issues with Be Live. It was cutting in and out and it was choppy. So right now, am I choppy for you, Monte?
You're pretty good. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but I'm not seeing problems.
Okay. If we can't hear each other, then we'll have to figure that out. But you're a little bit choppy, but I don't know. Maybe that's just because there's so much coming in right now. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm grateful that our computers are still alive.
Tell me about it. I've been doing so many of these interviews that, I may be breaking Facebook and Be Live and the internet, and it's all good because this is some good shit. So I wanted to bring Monte in, because I love him. He is one of my most spiciest, fiercest, sassy, witty, smart, spiritual, transformational friends. And what I love most about Monte, this is just yes, we'll get to soul, wit, and wisdom in a minute. But what I love most about Monte is he just fucking shoots right here, straight between the eyes. There's no bullshit. It's you're being a dumbass. And it's awesome because that is refreshing. That kind of honesty. When I read that in your bio, I was like, and there's something really powerful with that level of honesty. So Monte, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, I've I had, Ariella, you know her. If anybody doesn't know her, it doesn't matter. She's somebody else that I work with. I help facilitate at some of her retreats. And she said to me once, she's like, you've just got this power to say exactly what needs to be said, but in a way that it's somebody gets punched. They feel like they got punched in the gut, but they're like,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, just give me a second. She's like, if I said this, she's like, I could say the exact same thing. Walls,
Yes.
And it is something because I get it because I've been so many. I've just been so many assholes in my life. I've had so many fears. You know what I mean? You can't be more stuck than I've ever been stuck before.
I love that.
And it's the thing is, it's when we're stuck like that, it's just completely ridiculous. We're believing a lie that we're not good, we're not good enough, and it's a complete lie for everybody that's believing it in any moment. You know what I mean? It's coming from something from the past, and it's or something that they saw in the media, or wherever it's coming from, it's a lie. And so it's just about for me, when I see it, I usually laugh really hard when somebody comes to me super freaked out, unless it's super traumatic, my arm just got cut off, or you know what I mean, something like that. But I mean, if it's when it's these regular things where we get stuck, they'll just and then when they're, I was like, and that takes the air right out of it, and I can't help it because it's just like me. You know what I mean? Just like me. I've been there so many times, and I totally get it. And you always need, and that's why it's great to have coaches, because the coach can just pull you out, that's a complete lie. Let's go.
So it is really great though that I respect people. Listen, let's just put this in perspective. I am from New York. I'm Italian. I'm a Scorpio. Right? So enough said. And my whole family is this is what I think. This is what I think. There's no guessing. There's no tiptoeing. There's no pussyfooting around it. It's like, bam, like right between the eyes. So I can resonate with that so much. And yes, the way that you deliver, it isn't with malice. Like it isn't judgmental. It isn't like, oh my gosh, you idiot, or you're being an asshole, or you're being a jerk, or you're stupid. It's like that. It's like, what? That's ridiculous. Like, snap out of it, like Moonstruck, like, psh, you know what I'm
Totally,
saying?
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that's,
should call it Moonstruck coaching. I mean,
you really should. Moonstruck Monte. Moonstruck Monte.
Moonstruck
Like I
Monte.
will moonstruck you right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you've just been moonstruck. Yes.
That's so good. That's
Because it
so
is.
good.
It's that radical honesty that when it's delivered from that place, from a place of purity, from a place of like, shit, you're here, but you're here, but you're acting like you're here, right? So all the
Yeah.
lies that what you said, like all the lies that we tell ourselves, the bullshit stories that we still believe, which is not who we are inherently, is not our truth, but we
Mm-mm.
get really enrolled in those stories. So thank you for being here and bringing it.
It's fun to be with you. We haven't been together in a while.
It's been a
So,
it's
you've been so busy. I can't even get you on the phone, which is good.
it's been a long
I like
time.
that story.
It's Yes, it has been a while. And this is how we get to interact, and it's fun and it works. So what I want you to do is share with people who are listening or watching and don't know you or don't know your story. The kind of thing that I like to start off with my guests is explain to us, either give us your background or a time in your life where you were really at a place where you believe those lies, like life was really kicking you in the teeth, and it was a dark place, or it was a down place, or it was a place where you were in breakdown, and how what you learned, what you discovered, what had you rise up through the ashes, as I call it. Because
Mhm.
what I really like, the intention for this series is that people watching can see, they can get the theme, the essence of that we are all going to dip. And what does it take? What did it take for you to rise above?
Okay, let's see what comes out. Because I chose a really interesting life. Like
Mhm.
my dad was a drug dealer and started giving me speed when I was 15, and I've actually been doing deep work over the last few years to just kind of unravel all of that. I'm working. I just was doing deep storytelling work yesterday. I'm working with a coach right now. We're working on my signature talk and really looking at, there's a lot of super traumatic moments in my life.
Mhm.
Really, really traumatic. I mean, I've been to jail twice. Like I had 3 felony counts on me at once. I mean, I had a massive drug history, which
Mhm.
continually kept me down. And the more that I missed an opportunity or had to quit a job or couldn't take something or didn't go to college and had to wait, all of those things, really, like each time I chose one of those things, it reinforced an idea that I wasn't good enough,
Mhm.
that I was behind, that I would never make it. And
Mm.
so then I would choose something else that reproved that. And I just kept reproving it for years, 30 years, 30 years, you
Mm.
know? So looking back at it all, I mean, it's all perfect because now I'm able to help people that seriously, like in jail, like for 5 days. Luckily, my family had money.
Yeah.
I had resources. The person I'd been in altercation with was somebody I knew. We were both drunk. He went to the court. Said don't throw the book at him. This was us together, and with everything, I was able to get it down to a misdemeanor and continue my life.
Mm.
Like that was one of the when I look back, I'm looking back at the work right now. And it's like what like there's been so many miracles in my life where for me, God, it's like, come on, kid, it's not,
Mm.
no, no, don't, you're not leaving yet, like it's not over
Mm.
yet, let's keep going. And so the way I look at it is like I created so much depth. I mean, the last few years have really been me like uncovering, and it's very difficult to believe in yourself when you've done nothing but prove to yourself that you are not worthy, when you've done
Mm.
nothing to prove to yourself that you don't deserve any better, that you're never going to make it, like that you deserve to be in relationships where somebody's like off slamming speed with strange people from the internet, just all of it.
Yep.
um to come to a place where it's like I get to look back at them. The work that we're doing now is looking out at them and looking, what's the decision that like, let's go back to 15-year-old Monte when
Mhm.
I first did the line of speed. What was the decision that I made about myself then? And I was looking back, and also one of the stories I was putting down was when I was graduating high school because I partied so much I wasn't going off to like a good school, which I should have because I'm straight A's, like really smart, but I wasn't ready for that, and I was watching my friends go off, and then I
Mhm.
decided I was behind, and then I could, I just continued to create behind, behind,
Mm.
behind, behind. It was going lower and lower, like.
Mhm.
Um, and so, so just really being able to look at it all as gifts, to stop judging it. One of the things I've really done lately is, I thought I'd missed all these 30 years where it could have been light and shiny and gorgeous and all these kind of things. I mean, there was a lot of fun. I mean, it was never once boring, never once boring, but I was judging it as bad. And so as of recently, I'm reading Conversations with God, which for me is
Oh,
blowing my mind,
holy fuck.
blowing my mind. It's like completely, it's everything I've ever believed, like downloaded into words that I actually
Yes.
believe, and I actually believe it's God.
Yes.
And the truth of it is, it's like, oh, none of that was bad. It was all
Mm.
interesting. It was, it's none of the choices I want to make today. But now I have like, but it talks about, you're like a lot of times you do these things to prove to show yourself who you are not, so
Yes.
you can decide who you want to be and step into that. And so I look back at it all, and like there was a time when I was just like I regretted because I was like, oh, I'm old. I can't redo these things. I can't
Right.
have a like bullshit. I
Right.
can start over, right now and declare anything that I want. And in the last year, I have. You know what I mean? Like I've increased my income. I don't know. I haven't. I need to track it. I haven't even sat down to track it. I realized that in the last few days. But like, I like doing probably 3 times as much as I was doing. Like, I'm happy most of the
Mm.
time. I mean, Corona
Mhm.
has definitely had its effect on me. I've had my moments. I think we're all
Mhm.
coming up against ourselves in different ways, but for the most part, I'm loving it. But like it just, my body's in great shape. My mind is in great shape. Like I can redo everything, and
Mhm.
so can anybody. And it's like it's just how do I look at it? So right now the work that I'm doing in my storytelling work is like, okay, so what did I decide at 15? What did I decide at 18? How do I undo that? And then how do I re-choose and create new evidence?
Ooh.
And so that's what I've been doing in the last few years, to the point where I've got enough evidence now that, oh, no, 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 I can do whatever I want. Like I
Mm.
can completely rewrite the entire story. I mean, I keep all of that because it taught me.
Yeah.
um, and now I just get to soar. And so lately it's just been, I have my moments and all of that like anybody else, but it's mainly just wins, 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 wins. It's like, oh, okay, here's something else to uncover. Okay, let's get past that. And then just go.
So in that, in the journey of Monty's life, the journey of like the story of your life, the journey of it, there's a lot of like down moments. And what I heard you say was, I just believed that that's where I belonged. Like I believed that there was no coming back from that. I wasn't like, as I have a huge story about like, well, same, like I'm too old. I thought I was too old at 21. What? No joke.
I thought it was at 18 when I graduated high
But
school.
isn't that something that like at 40 something, we can look back and be like, wow, like the blessing of hindsight, the blessing of more years under our belt that we can actually have like some yardage between us. You know what I mean? Like some yardage between us and the thing that we think makes or
Mhm.
breaks us. So what I hear you say is, for a long time, you in your life had a lot of evidence as to like your worth, your value, what was possible for you. What was the and now you have a lot of tools, I know you do, a lot of tools to say that was then, this is who I am now. I am capable and possible of creating anything and everything, and I deserve it. What was the tipping point, do you think? What was the thing that had you go, I either need to, I consider us in a wake up call. We're in a global wake up call right now. A lot of people don't see it that way, but what was your wake up call? What was your like moment or moments?
I think, well, like one of the biggest ones, I mean, you've been through the PhD leadership program. And
Yeah.
for me, the biggest thing I got out of that was doing the workshop. And so for anybody that doesn't know, like PhD is like it's next level leadership. It's really getting deep into like the 12 distinctions of leadership, transformational leadership. And the what you need to do to graduate is do a transformational workshop live to 25 people. And so it's got to have exercises where people are interacting and they're actually feeling like change and possibility. And I've always seen myself, like teaching in that way, but it's because I created so much failure and so much, I didn't know if I felt like I maybe had imposter syndrome. Like you see people
Mm.
going on, like, I don't know, one of those singing shows, like, like, whoa.
You were like, I'm tone deaf, aren't I? Like, this
Yeah.
is never going to happen, is
Yeah.
it?
Like I could be completely delusional.
Right.
I could have been completely delusional because some people are. I mean,
Yeah.
they truly are. And so, I was so stuck. I mean, I didn't know what I was teaching till literally I looked up at the clock after freaking out all day at 1:38 in the morning. I looked at this clock on this computer because I'd just written the outline that I was like, this will work. And I was presenting at 11 a.m. and I'd had
So,
6 months.
of course you do.
I'd had
Of
6 months.
course.
You know what I mean? And so then the next day I just woke up and I had no time to practice. I printed it up big. I put it on a stand. And it was either like I could have canceled because it was also raining that day in LA, which kills everything. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so like I was like, I didn't know if anybody was gonna come. And I was like, you know what? I am just gonna have faith. I'm gonna go for this. I'm either gonna fall on my face and learn something, or I am going to do well, or at least fine. So but if like I'm going
Mhm.
to do it. And I went and like 20 minutes in, it started clicking halfway through. People were grabbing me like, oh my God. At the end of it, people were holding me by the shoulders, looking me in the eyes and saying, this was amazing. My friend brought me here. I didn't know what was going to happen. And, the breakthroughs that I wanted, like the moment when it really worked. So was when I'm going to take it. It was gorgeous. So it was on boundaries and communication. I had people in dyads, which if you don't know what a dyad is, it would be like you'd be sitting next to each other like this, right, facing forward, and then I have you move like this so that you're knee to knee. You're looking in each other's eyes. So it was dyad work. People are sharing beautiful breakthroughs, all of it. But then I heard what I had intended, and this one guy says, when we went into this, I turned around and I was, knee to knee with this guy. I've never done anything like this. It's uncomfortable. It's weird to
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
And then I'm looking at this guy in front of me, like this guy I would never talk to. Like I have nothing in common with this guy. And then we start sharing, and I realize he's just like me. We have the same problems. We can help each other. And everybody's head's going, yeah, yeah, right. And then he dropped it. He goes, and now he's not just the guy sitting behind me. And that was it. And that was the
Mm.
moment. That's what I wanted because this in LA, like I don't, I think it's different in different places, bigger cities, but like everybody is on the phone. Here it's like you're perfect. You're like, like don't show any emotion. If you're gonna try
Mhm.
to flirt with somebody, you can just do it online because if, just swipe or whatever.
Mhm.
Nobody's like, I see guys checking me out, but as soon as I get close, they're studying to see if
Right.
I
I
can
gotta
be the
play
floor of
cool.
the
Yep.
gym. You know what I mean? Because they would be vulnerable to actually say hello and see what happened. And
Mm.
I said, I was like, Steve, this is the problem. You guys think everybody is right here. Like you're walking right past, like maybe your future partner, your new best friend, the person that knows your next lover, the person that's got the cure for whatever's wrong with your mom. You know what I mean? Like we're
Mm.
walking by possibilities, without connecting to people and saying, hey, maybe taking a minute to stop and say hi and see what's going on. And that's what I wanted to come through. And so in that, like it lit me up like fire. Hey ladies, ooh, gorgeous people over here.
What's up going on in the chat? Daniela, Melissa. Hi. I already said
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah, but
So
that was, and after that, like the fear has still come up, but it's like I can no longer lie to myself. I can't believe that lie because I have the evidence now. And so it's
yes.
really just going for it, and like each thing that you do, this is one thing I teach when I'm coaching my people, like this thing may not work. But the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to learn something. The best thing
Mhm.
that's going to happen is we're going to do this strategy and you're going to get rich. Either way, like I actually literally just texted this to somebody that was trying something new. I was like, you're either going to get rich now from this or you're going to learn something. And then we're going to modify it and you're going to get rich later.
Well, and
That's
here's what,
it. If you don't
yep,
quit,
yep. And here's what I hear because you have a fitness background, as did I. And one of the greatest one of the greatest, I don't want to call it a theory, but like one of the greatest principles in weight training is muscle failure. And I used to
Mm-hmm.
use this all the time. It's like it's actually something to strive for, because then you know that you've peaked it, you've maxed it out, and what's on the other side of that is muscle growth, is growth. So there is no failure. When I used to do fitness coaching, and even still, because I'll still use this analogy like I'm doing now, is what there is point to me, point to failure, like point failure out to me in the world, and you really can't. For my definition of failure is you're dead. Like the only,
And,
like human failure is you no longer are here in your
or,
form. You're
or you don't try.
yes,
That
yes,
is failure. Like not
yes.
trying.
So if that's the case, then I'm gonna go for it because I can't fail. I can't fail. There is no failure. So it's awesome. I love it. I love it. So you basically threw yourself in. You basically, what I'm hearing you say is you threw yourself into this program, and you had all these doubts about who you were and if you could deliver and if you could really make a difference in this setting, this because this is why I did the program. I was like, I want to be able to be effective at the front of a room, move
Mm.
people through into transformation, and you did it. And then that was a huge, it was a huge piece of evidence for you that it was possible, that you could do it, that you are capable. And then from
Mm.
there, was it like that?
It's been all evidence based. There was a large breakthrough. I did some more deep work last year in a 12-step program that actually, after doing leadership, going back through it, like nobody in all of these years, and I was has ever. It was always kind of like victim. You know what I mean? Because I was 15 and the
Mm-hmm.
drugs were in my house. You know what I mean? Nobody said, "But Monte, you made a choice." Because people don't think like that. They think, damn kid, like you had a rough go, and that, which is reasonable. But when I went back into the work this time, with leadership under my belt, and I went back into that moment, and I was like, "Ugh, I chose." Like I was 15, so I couldn't know what could
You were
happen. I didn't
actually,
understand the repercussions, but I knew drugs were bad, you know? And I would been talking shit about my dad for years in my head. I was like, I'm going to college and I'm gonna make tons of money and I'm not messing with them drugs, as I'd seen him around the house. But then I started, going to the club with my friends, and I wouldn't do them, but like eventually I just got curious, and I was like, I just want to try it. And unfortunately, I loved it,
mm-hmm.
like as you could see, I'm kind of hype. I like to
Yeah.
be hyped. Give me a little speed, I'm like, meow. So, so that was really the turning. Like when I went in and owned it, then I have power. And then it's like, and then I was able to own every decision that came after, because it was kind of the whole life was a victim story, you know.
Wow.
And then so once I owned it all, I was able to just, okay, and then I had regret. But I was continually moving towards, I gotta be happy. I have got to
Mm-hmm.
be happy. I've got to be happy. And so I just keep doing work. And then eventually one day I'm walking down the street and it was like, boom, forgiveness. Like dropped in, like in
Self.
through me.
Uh,
Yeah, for myself. And I was, because it goes to like the codependent relationships that started when I was 20 and I ruined my first relationship and I was in love. And I mean, that was a whole nother show, but that came from being, starting doing drugs when you're 15 and having no concept of life. So, um, it was like, of course you made that decision. What else could you have done, you poor little dummy? You know what I mean? And it was in that moment.
I love you, you poor little dummy.
You
Beth
poor little
Osmer,
dumb.
Beth is on. She's watching. Forgiveness is
Oh,
freedom.
sweet.
What's
Oh my
up,
goodness.
Bethy?
Some of
Um,
the
I
most
like
worthy
to be
people on earth.
hyped.
Yeah, I like to be
Yeah.
hyped. But
Well,
yeah,
who
but that was
doesn't?
it. And then after that, then I was able to completely love like eventually, like I was like, I love everything that's happened. And what's been amazing, and that was about 5 months ago. Since then, I keep getting like the people that are coming to me that need help are like, it's like, oh, I'm the only person in this room that could have helped you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like because our story is different, but where we need to go is the same. And now I'm on the other side. I still have higher levels to reach
Of course.
always, but I'm here. Like I know what's possible in forgiving myself and loving all of that.
Okay, so here's what I heard that worked
Yeah.
for you. What I heard that worked for you is deep work, you said deep work multiple times, you discovered victim mentality and then discovered the personal power that comes when you're actually responsible for even the things that you poor dummy, like yeah, like 15 years old, you don't really have the capacity to make the best choice, but you made the choice, and owning that really gives you power. It really, really gives you power. And then
Mm-hmm.
doing the deep work, like really investing in your own happiness, and that it doesn't come. And here's what I know about when we're hurting and when we're hurting and when we want love or connection or peace or acceptance or whatever those things are that human beings ultimately want. And when we don't have them, there's really just this heartbreak, this hole in our heart. And all you want to do is feel good. Like all you want to do is feel good. Drugs make you feel good. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not really thinking about tomorrow, and you're not really thinking about 5 years and 10 and 25 years down the road. But like in that moment, I just want to feel good. So I've heard this multiple times. You did the best that you could with what you knew. And
Absolutely.
forgiveness.
And one thing, I mean, it's definitely the deep work, but there's well, the one thing that will help anybody is just to decide I will not fucking quit. I'm either going to be happy. For me, I was like, and I've said this before, I think I said this on Beth Center, but it's like happy or dead. Like, I'm
Mm.
not going to take myself off the planet because I don't have to restart the whole thing, and I will not live like this. So I've got to get happy.
I love
That's it.
yes.
And I
Yep.
never stopped. I never ever stopped. And I've looked ugly in front of people, or you know what I mean, like in front of people. I have. I mean, I've gone to the mat. It's determination, really. And just knowing, deciding, like I don't feel like I'm worth it right now, but I'm going to.
Mm.
Like, and I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, you were fighting for happiness. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Like, really, like it was, you've been, here's the thing, like, no one wants to, no one wants to feel shitty, and no one wants to make bad decisions, and no one wants to hurt other people. And yet that usually happens in human life. Like we do what we do, and we're dumb for a while, and then we learn because we could look back and go, oh, I can see that wasn't the right choice or whatever. Oops. And and ultimately, our journey really is just to come back to ourselves. Like your
Hmm.
happiness is never out there. It's not in the drugs. It's not in the acceptance from your parents. It's not, I mean, and that's a fucking hard lesson to learn. It's a hard human lesson, is it not?
Oh, still, like my relationship with my parents is not exactly what you know what I mean? I wish it was. And I take my responsibility and I try to improve it the best I can. And I love it for exactly what it is. Cause some people don't
Mm,
have their parents, you know, like even with
exactly.
my dad, it's like, it's never like a deep conversation. But he calls,
Mm,
and he tells me he loves me. And a lot of
mm.
people don't have that. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
We can talk one day about the about dads if you want, because I had a really, really great transformation with my dad. So if
Oh
you ever
yeah.
want to talk about that, I got some really good dad stuff.
Love.
Um, what is it that you're working on right now that you're most passionate about?
Most passionate about right now is I'm doing something new where I'm taking female entrepreneurs through sales cycles. It's just, yeah,
Really cool.
yeah. It's just Voxer coaching, and what I love about it, it's 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 just easy for me. You know what I mean? Like today, and I'm like super intuitive. Like coaching somebody, and I had just sent her like we didn't have anything to connect on today, and I just left her a message because I was feeling hyped. I was thinking about her, and I happened to just left her a boxer like I'm so hyped for what we're doing together. I can't wait. She's got a whole project she's working on tomorrow. I was like, I want you to check in with me tomorrow. I'll pace with you. This is going to be really powerful because she's passionate about helping other women. You know, and then I haven't listened to the full message, but I just started before we jumped on, and she was like, "Oh, thank you." She's like, this happened, and then this happened, and I was feeling this, and it's just, we all have those moments of self doubt. Like, am I good enough to help somebody else? Am I good enough to even be doing this? Do I even deserve to make money? You know what I mean? Like, all whatever the stories are, and so just I love how like helping people see the truth. You know what I mean? And then just creating like evidence for herself. Like last last week we created a lot of evidence, you
Mm,
know. This week was she was just a little bit more exhausted because she didn't take the weekend off like I told her to because she had misplanned. And so this weekend that's going to happen because I really insist upon people creating space and creating fun and like people that have kids, it's like go be with those kids. You know, like you wanted them, they're here. And number one, and number
or
two,
not.
coming from where
If you didn't, you're still here. They're still here.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're still here. Well, and the thing I know for sure is from my upbringing, it's like
Mm,
kids need to know that they matter. Like if the
yeah.
parents are off doing all these other things, they don't get it, you know, that they're trying to pay, pay for the food and the whatnots and all this kind of stuff. Like they need time to know that they're important so that they
Yeah.
can go out and be that. You know what I mean? Like walk into a room and like, hey, I belong here. Like I'm
Mm,
important,
I
and
matter.
so for me, it's very, I really am insisted upon that. And then also people need time with their husband or their lover. And then they also need time by themselves,
Themselves.
you know? And that when I really help people with that, because like when you can do all of those things, then when you show up to work on Monday, like you're ready to rock. Like
Yeah.
that's what I do. I shut down at 6 o'clock on Friday. Saturday, it's kind of fun, talk to friends, do what, the things I want to do right now, kind of locked down, can't do much. And then Sunday, there's no phone, there's no computer, and I've had people like, well, what if I need you? I'm like, you're going to have to make it without me.
You're gonna have to take breaths in and out all by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's support groups. Let's, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because this is how, this is the only way I can hold a container for the people that I'm holding the container
Mm,
for. And dude, like, those are the times when my creativity comes through, like I got a great, like I completely restructured my schedule over the weekend moving forward. Like I saw the gap, like, oh, this is what I'm not doing
mm,
great.
mm,
This is how I
mhm.
can make it so much easier and better for me.
Yeah.
And we all need that time,
Yeah.
to get creative and to recharge.
So tell me about the search. What I'm calling this time is the situation we find ourselves in. The situation that we find ourselves in. Because really, it's the situation we find ourselves in. So
Yeah.
given that, what's been your download that you've received in during this time of the situation that we found ourselves in, or what have you discovered, or what has come through, or what have you been dealing with? Just share about like how have you dealt with the situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll take you through a quick journey. Yeah. So first 2 or 3 weeks, it was just like weird, like all of a sudden, where like you can't touch anybody, all of this kind of stuff. This is before you even had to have the mask all the time. And, I'm single and I've got, I live in my apartment by myself. And so all of a sudden I was like, and I love hugs, like, and I
Uh,
love seeing my friends. And I was like, wait, no hugs? Like, okay. And then
wait, hold on. Time out. Definition what?
and then seeing, then I see my cute friends with their little lovers and they've got their families and they can hug on those people and you know what I mean? Like and it was like, dang, it was so really I got to look at myself and think about all that and, got to look at my intimacy, and, what do I actually want from a relationship? And, all of these things came up. And then about 3 weeks in, I got real angry and I realized because time had become so fluid and weird because I've got clients that I go to as well as working here and I wasn't doing any of that and so I realized I was working every single day,
Right.
at least some, and
Yeah.
that's just not my vision, and so that's when I started taking the weekends off. I was like, oh, stack the weeks, weekends off. And then my back was out too, like it was just crazy. Then my back got better, I got to clean my apartment and then I was like, I feel good again and I realized I love this time to myself on the weekends. Like I'm doing some deep work. I'm being with me. Like I'm actually looking at what I want in a relationship, so that when we get out there and we get to play with the kids again, like I'm
You're
clear,
clear.
you know? Yeah. And I have absolutely loved it, and at the same time, there's been, like a couple weeks ago, too much got scheduled because something surprised me and, I got exhausted and then, fears and whatever's came up and then I just got to take a weekend off and come back to it and get smarter and like for me I think it's awesome. I want to make sure that I say for anybody that's like lost somebody or is separated from, like, some people are separated from their parents that are in, old folks' homes, and they're not letting anybody come visit. And there's just a lot of situations that people are in that are real, right?
Mhm.
And that are hard and they feel very scary, and so I want to honor that 100%.
Yeah,
But I'm not in any of
right.
those. You know what I mean? So for me, it's a little bit different. Also, I don't believe in death. I just don't. So my family's views on like dying and that sort of thing, it's like, hey, when this thing starts working, I just want to tap out. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
good. Like there's no, we don't want to hold on. That's not our show in my family. That's
Mhm.
not how we believe. And it's not what I believe because I'm eternal.
Mhm.
Like if this is just it's the next ride. Like, here's something really interesting that I caught this week. So I was looking back at, youth, the missing youth. I think we can all, anybody at our age, can, look back at it. And it's like, and I actually was like, no, no, my youth was fucking crazy. Like I did
Mm.
stuff that, I mean, people won't do in 20 lives. I did
Right.
it all in this one, sometimes in a week. And and I'm here in this place, and like I'm kind of getting excited to, like, there's plenty of years ahead of me. I know I got work to do, but like what's going to happen when I come into the next body, like,
Mhm.
and I get to do the youth thing over again? Will I, if I elevate high enough, will I have enough sense to do it in a really like a different way? Like, could it be, just like more straight to like the mission,
Mm.
which would be fun with passion and all of that. That's kind of how I look at it. And so, I've been to, on the weekends, like I just finished Conversations with God book 2.
Yes.
And this weekend, I'm probably going to just tear all the way through 3. And yeah, I'm kind of loving it. So for me, it's knowing that it will end. Also, I just feel like there's so much that we're doing to the planet and the way that we're living, and the things that we're believing, the things that we're putting values in. Um, and it can be scary. Some systems need to fall. It like it's all made up, like the money system, like in the book. I already believed all this, but I'm
I
hearing
know.
God saying it.
I know.
Like there's so much possibility, and it may get harder, as there's transition. And but I believe in the best. Like
Yeah.
I think when I was on Beth's interview, I'd said, if I don't make, I'm not worried of COVID. Like if I didn't make it through, I'm off to my next adventure. I
Right.
believe I'm here through this one though. So that helps me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's, I think everything is how you look at it.
Yeah. It really is. I love that. My gosh, there's so many Monte, so many truth bombs up in there. It's like it's unbelievable. All right. Let's talk about oh, do I want to go there?
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
here's where I want to
Great.
go. Oh, here's where I want to go. I already know you're like already, you're humorous and you're funny and you're witty, and the shit that comes out of your mouth just cracks me up. Like if I could show you guys like just our text thread, I probably shouldn't because it's probably raunchy. Um, but just
I surprise my
he
I
calls me
surprise
precious.
myself.
He calls me precious princess. I call him Boo. It's like I love you. You're witty. What's like the thing that you do that gives you the most joy, that makes you laugh, that you have the most fun at?
Well, one of them is the dumb shit that comes out of my
I
mouth.
love it.
Like
Yep.
sometimes, like we were coaching during PhD too, and it's like the other mentors were around while I was coaching somebody on the phone, and they were just trying not to laugh out loud. I was like, oh my God, where am I going? But it was crazy, but I just kept going, and it worked.
You know what I love about that? You trust yourself. You trust yourself
Yeah,
enough in that moment. You know
yeah.
your heart. You know where you're coming from. You know what you're standing for in that moment. So like, what comes out is what is supposed to come out. And again, main reason I love you. Like main reason I love you.
Yeah.
So it's the shit that comes out of your mouth.
The stitch that comes out of my mouth, and just staying innocent, looking to get back to, sometimes I think that, we look back at the youth is gone,
Mm,
but
mm,
I can be eternally youthful. Like when I walk down the street, I went out the other night, because people are wearing their masks and they get nervous. And so I walk far out on the street. I like to go for walks at night. Like the other night, it was, we had like Santa Ana's or something. It was like hot and windy. And I love like nature. I love like sexy air. You know what I mean? I love it when it's storming. I love all that stuff. So
mm,
I was out there in a tank top, music on. It was like 11:30 at night, walking down the street with my little headphones, dancing, having fun, just being a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Looking for the lightness, looking for the, who can I help? Sometimes when I'm feeling, when I get a little bit into myself, like I definitely like, oh wait, I'm all about me right now. Like, who do I know
Mm.
right now that and I looked, I just pick up the phone and look at my, like, who have I missed calls or my, my last tech people that I text. I just go through my text history and I just get a hit. It's like, oh, I got to tell Kristen she's gorgeous today, Oh, you know what I mean? I got to,
Monty text. I love my Monty out of the blue text. They're like the best.
yeah, just like random text can be a big deal to somebody. Like I said, when I called that client earlier, who's also my friend, when I left her the Voxer just to encourage her, it was the exact right time,
Yeah.
and, those are the kind of things that, like, if I'm ever feeling kind of, when I'm super down, it's just deal with yourself and be there. But if I just feel like I'm getting kind of, like, what can I do to brighten the world? What can I do?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that,
Look
like,
out.
yeah, that and just being grateful, looking at gratitude. What
Love
can I
it.
be grateful for right now? Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm in
So
this
many
house,
things.
which I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people aren't in a house right now. I've got food in that refrigerator, plenty. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not going hungry. I have money in the bank, you know? And none of these things are as much as I want. Is this house big, the big one I want on the hill with the pool? Not yet. Is,
Yeah. Yeah.
is the chef here preparing the food that would be way more interesting than I could prepare? Not yet.
When he gets there, just send him to my house for like one meal. That would be fantastic. Okay, what about this? Here's
Deal.
my next question. This is the final question that I asked before I want you to talk about your free gift. What is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is to figure out who you want to be, remember who you are, and decide who you want to be, and be
Mm.
that. Like, just continue to be that. Like, what I want to be is light, happy, fun. Also there in the moment when you're breaking down, it's like, get your ass over here, and then afterwards, let's have a little giggle if it's appropriate, and eventually, let's get your tits back up, and get out on the street. It's to be like, what can I do? Like, I mean, my driving force is I want a private island with 20 master suites, and I want, I want my clients to be able to come there once or twice a year for a retreat. And the rest of the year, I want my friends to come, everybody that's helped me to get to where I'm at. And, like I came up with this when I was at when I was emceeing Tara's event, and I was doing it. And she was like, oh, great, Phil and I will pay to come. I was like, disgusting. Keep your money. You are missing the point. I want to invite you. You come.
Mm.
You, if you want to stay in your suite for for 3 days and just order food and do your things and not have clothes on, and then you want to come out later when you finally have had enough of that. Fabulous. You know? Like,
Mm.
just I want to take care of my friends and be in community and have fun, and like that's the one thing that, like, drives me.
Mm.
It's the one, like, like, I love helping people. I love doing all of that. But, just having that in my sights, like, I'm going for it, and there's
Mm.
no evidence from where I came from for what I have now or anything. There's no solid evidence that I can produce or create that. And who cares?
Yes. And I
you know?
love that. That's power. That's power. Not being attached to what you have done in the past as if it dictates what is possible in the future.
Well, and all beyond that, what I recently realized is I'm taking what I've done in the past and it gets to like I just, like, because another coach that I'm working with, she had asked me, like, to price out what my education's worth, and the actual
Mm.
education somewhere around 200,000. But my life education is worth, I can't even, like, it's
Right?
worth at least 2, 3, 4, 8, 10 million.
Yeah.
It's like what I can bring to the table for people is it's invaluable. So it's not, it's for me, it's flipping it. It's like, oh yeah, that was like school, you know?
Priceless.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Now I've graduated because I'm not going back to that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And now I get to apply that. So,
You learned what
it's not even despite, but because of,
because of. You learned what you needed to learn. You got what you needed to get, and you can tap back into that. It's continual. It's not like you learned it then
hmm
and it's done and it doesn't apply. Like you can actually pull from it. Oh, this is like that time Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah, I want a lot of it. I wanted to hide. It was shameful, and I mean, some of it. I mean, when I went, I was doing story work yesterday, and I hit that story, and it was like, oh God, I was not a good person. It was not good behavior, you know. And I had to get up from the table a couple times and walk around like, and then sit back down and commit to getting it on paper, you know, and working through the shame and releasing the shame around it, and seeing, well, how can it serve? How did it serve me? Like such a good person now, and how can it serve others? You know,
yeah.
like what can because before. One of the things I want to do is just be like, oh, hi, I'm good looking, I'm you know, making money, I'm successful, I'm all of these things. I wanted to like let's put that all behind, but it's like no, 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 no. No, that's the gold. Because I mean, if I can come from all the way over there to where I'm at, to where I'm going, you know, imagine where just somebody who, you know, is just kind of an asshole, you know?
Just a baby asshole. Just sometimes. But like you, like king asshole?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what's possible? Like,
Look at this.
you could be really nice. You could
Fucking
still make mistakes
miracle.
and apologize, but like, this is possible. From the person shaking in Twitter in 3 days, you know, high in the bedroom and weird and no. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all possible.
It's great. It's an amazing thing. You know, a lot of the people that I've talked to, that I've interviewed, have had lives like that, traumatic events, like events that you're just like, oh my god, like you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, holy shit, that was crazy, and now here they are, and you know, giving back. Like what I hear from what is really important to you is giving back, serving, taking
Well,
everything.
there's no way I should be alive. There's like literally no way I should be alive. I mean, there was one time I was at a party. I was hillside daytime. Like, I mean, it was maybe like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Next thing I know, I'm in my house, which is about a 40-minute drive. It's the next day, big old cut on my leg, cars out front.
Yeah,
Miracle. I should not be here.
yeah,
So I've got it's not for me.
it's
You know
not
what I
for you.
mean? It's to
Yeah,
be it's to be more. It's to give back. You know, like
I love
it's not about me.
I love it. That's a lesson that I don't believe everyone learns in the lifetime. But it really is. It really is a lesson that is worth its weight in gold. No joke. No joke.
Yeah.
Because we can be, you know, this is what I'm witnessing. I want to go back to this really attached. I'm not like, you know, the situation that we find ourselves in is confronting for a lot of people because they can't see that this is an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity for self-reflection, for recreation, for reevaluation, to take inventory, to say, who am I? You know, how am I living my life? How am I living my life on the planet with nature, and what am I consuming? All of it. And the fact that you can say my life, because here's what I'm hearing, my life is it's to serve, it's to give back, it's to make something of the shit soup that, you know, you created back then, and be like, holy crap, like I really made something of my life and I impacted other people.
Hmm. Yeah, and I was also realizing too, it's like I think, you know, one thing it's like for me it was like getting to that like Tony Robbins level or whatever that looks like for me. And then it's like I've done it and a few weeks ago I realized I'm already doing it. You know, like I'm already doing it. I'm already coaching some really powerful, beautiful, like gorgeous people. Like, you know, I've made impacts on many, many rooms that I've been in. Like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I don't know if ever anybody else has that where they think, "Oh, I got to get there." It's like, wait, what are you doing right now?
Yep.
Like you're running into people, you're doing something, you're working with somebody, you know? Like I'm doing it now.
You are. You are. And I acknowledge you for that. Like who you are for me is funny, witty, impactful, loving, a stand for your own life and for what's possible. Like you really are that for me. So thank you for being here and also for being you.
Well, thank you for the reflection. Yeah, and I'm glad I'm grateful. This is super fun.
Why do you think I'm doing it? Yes, and that was the other thing too. And I want you to talk about your free gift before I wrap up. But the one thing that I got out of this was time to really take inventory of my life and mostly my business. And what I got was, if it's not a hell fuck yes, like if it's not a oh my god yes that, it's a no. And that's really powerful. It's been really powerful for me because, you know, promoters be promoting. And I'm like, yes, oh my God, yes, of course, yes, I'm going to do that. And then just depleted and half in and half out and not focused and not clear. And once I actually had this time and space to say, all right, wait a minute. Like, if everything's out the fucking window, what do I want to bring back in? Like, what lights me up so much that I would do it no matter what? And these interviews, holy crap, I'm having way too much fun. It's ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah. Amen, sister. I got
Yes.
you.
I love you. Tell us about your free gift. Tell the people what they won.
Well, today.
Today.
So I put my PDF. It's a simple guide to creating boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's like boundaries I'm so passionate about. Like one of my gratitude partners today, her gratitude was about setting a boundary with somebody, and I responded. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited about this!" And we're like new friends. So I told her I'd do a workshop on this. You know, so when I do it again, I'm going to invite you because boundaries are a gift. People get really scared to set boundaries, but they really like it's just rules of engagement. You know what I mean? Like I've got two rules. Like on Sunday, I'm not available. Well, what do I do? Well, I figure it out. You know what I mean? Like this is my boundary. You know, like I had a client text me on. I don't know if I said this earlier, but on Saturday, oh, can you check out my email that I want to send out? And I didn't even respond to that text to say no because the boundary is I'm done after a Friday at 5 o'clock. So now if I'm engaging with you, I'm breaking my own boundary, even though she's somebody I love, respect, and she's got a hustle on, and I get it, you know. But no. It gets to be very, very clear because this is how I can serve. So, you know, so for me, boundaries are like when you have boundaries in relationships. I've been in relationships where you're just kind of tiptoeing around, guessing and thinking and deciding what they think and deciding what they want, and just like so exhausting. So, you know, so I teach people how to do boundaries all the time, you know,
I love
like
it.
usually it takes like I was talking to somebody yesterday that I'd done this for, and she was like, Monte, it's like, it's your methodology. It's the energy that you bring to it. So I hope that comes through in the PDF. I know people have had that experience with it, but it's just about your approach. It's like, hey, I just want you to know, like this, I'm loving helping you. And this is how I'm available for it, you know? And this is what I'm available to.
Well, and what I hear you saying too is it's an expression of your worth, which is your time. A boundary is like I'm available here and I'm not available here, and it's self-respect and it's self-worth. It really is. Like I'm not available for that. I like not here. Here's great, but not here. And it's powerful.
It's powerful. And it's just so much easier. And I lived so long without them. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it was hard for me to start to have them as well. Like I get it, you know, but it truly is, you know, an act of self-love, and it's an act of love to the other person and to the relationship, you know, because it's just so much easier. It's like, I want things this way. I want, you know, these things this way. I'm able to mash up on different things, but this is a hard no for me. You know, this is a hard no for me. Okay, cool. We got plenty of room to play now. You know, make it really easy. So so download that and check it out, and feel free to reach out, you know, if anybody reads it and it's like, I still don't know, I'm still scared, reach out. I'm happy to connect with anybody.
I love it. I love it. So in order to get Monte's gift around boundary setting, go to soulwitandwisdom.com. His interview will be right up top. So will his free gift and his bio, and a link to your website so they can connect with you as well. Monte, I love you. I love you
love you too, darling.
Forever. And I love seeing your face and talking. And thank you for being just, you know, being who you are fully and completely out in the world and impacting my life in such a positive way.
Ditto.
You're welcome.
I love you too, girl.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's my line.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.